The night before my wedding, my best friend slept with my fiancée. I pretended nothing happened. But at the altar, what I did shocked everyone. Before we continue, don't forget to like this video and subscribe. Your support helps share more stories with you. The night before the wedding, I couldn't sleep. Something pulled me toward Liam's apartment, a restless curiosity I couldn't ignore. When I arrived, the door was slightly open. I peeked inside and froze. There they were, Liam and Sarah, completely lost in each other. Sarah's hand rested on his chest as she laughed softly, leaning into him like he was the only person in the world. Liam's arm wrapped around her waist, his fingers tracing patterns on her back as he whispered something in a voice too intimate, too familiar. "I can't believe we're actually doing this tonight," she murmured, her eyes sparkling with mischief, her smile wide and careless. "I've wanted this for so long." "You have no idea," Liam replied, his grin smug and triumphant. They weren't just touching. They were teasing, laughing, whispering secrets only the other could hear. She tilted her head, brushing her lips against his shoulder, and he laughed low, a sound of pure satisfaction, like he had won some cruel game. They were playful, yet possessive, every glance and movement dripping with ownership. They whispered, giggled, and teased each other, and I could hear it all. "Stop laughing. You know you love it," Liam said, his tone both mocking and indulgent. "You're terrible," Sarah replied, biting her lip. "But I like it." They moved together like they had rehearsed this for months, caught up in the thrill, completely unaware that I was witnessing it all. Every touch, every shared laugh, every stolen whisper was a knife to my chest. They weren't hiding. They weren't subtle. They were enjoying themselves, drunk on the secrecy of it, laughing at the betrayal they thought I would never discover. I stood there, frozen, heart pounding, stomach twisting, watching everything I had trusted and loved fall apart before my eyes. And in that moment, I realized this wasn't just a one-night mistake. It was a deliberate, intoxicating game they played together at my expense, and it made every memory I had with them feel like a lie. I stepped back from the door, letting it close quietly behind me, and pressed my back against the wall of the quiet street. My hands shook, my chest felt like it would burst, but the worst part wasn't the scene I had just witnessed, it was the flood of memories that came with it. I thought of Liam first. My best friend, my brother in every way that mattered. We had grown up side by side, sharing secrets and dreams, defending each other through childhood fights, laughing at stupid jokes no one else would understand. He had been my confidant, the one I could tell anything to without fear, the person I believed would never, could never hurt me. And yet here he was, grinning like a thief in my life, stealing the one thing I had loved most. And Sarah, my Sarah. I remembered the first time our paths crossed, the way her laugh had lit up the room, how effortlessly she made me feel alive. I remembered every long night we had spent talking, every whispered, "I love you," every promise we had made about a future together, our future. Every plan I had made, every dream I had pictured with her, now felt poisoned by what I had just seen. She had traded all the memories we shared for a reckless thrill, and the thought made my chest ache with a betrayal so deep it burned. The cruelest part was remembering the three of us together, how perfect it had once seemed. Liam, Sarah, and I, friends, lovers, companions, sharing jokes, late-night walks, small adventures. I had trusted them, celebrated their laughter, reveled in their joy, believing we were unbreakable. Every hug, every shared secret, every smile we had exchanged suddenly felt like a lie, as though they had been playing me all along, rehearsing the moment when they would betray me most completely. I thought about the way Sarah had once leaned on me for support, the way Liam had included me in his life like I was family. And now, all of it had been twisted into something cruel, something designed to hurt me in the deepest way imaginable. They hadn't just crossed a line, they had burned it down. They were drunk on their secrecy, intoxicated by the thrill of the betrayal, laughing while I carried years of trust and love in my chest, only to have it torn away. I sank to the curb, my head in my hands, as waves of grief, rage, and disbelief collided inside me. I remembered every night I had stayed up worrying about Liam, every sacrifice I had made for Sarah, every thought I had believed was shared, every laugh that now felt like mockery. The betrayal wasn't just a moment, it was a thread unraveling the very fabric of my life, leaving me exposed and hollow. And yet, beneath the heartbreak, beneath the anger and despair, a cold clarity began to form. I realized that tomorrow, at the altar, I had power. I could let the world see the weight of their betrayal, the depth of their lies, the way they had stolen everything from me and thought I wouldn't notice. I wasn't just a victim. I wasn't just heartbroken. I was someone who knew exactly what they had done, someone who could turn the tables, someone who could make them understand, in front of everyone, that nothing would be hidden anymore. The night stretched on, long and silent, but one thought burned through the darkness. This wasn't over. Not by a long shot. And tomorrow, they would see just how devastating the consequences of their actions could be. The next day, the sun rose over what was supposed to be the happiest day of my life. The church smelled of fresh flowers and candle wax, sunlight streaming through the stained glass, painting the aisle with colors that should have felt warm but only made my heart ache. Guests chatted happily, unaware of the storm that had been brewing the night before, unaware of the secret I carried with me like a dagger hidden in my pocket. Sarah appeared at the end of the aisle, radiant in white, smiling as if nothing had happened. Every step she took toward me made my chest tighten, every laugh she shared with a friend stung sharper than the night before. And then I saw him, Liam, sitting in the front row, trying to look calm, his hands slightly trembling, betraying the guilt he thought he had hidden. When the priest asked us to exchange vows, the room held its breath. I felt all the memories of the past, the laughter, the trust, the betrayal, swirl inside me like a storm ready to break. I looked at Sarah first, then at Liam, and the world seemed to pause. The whispers, the stolen laughter, the intimacy I had witnessed flashed through my mind, each image heavier than the last. And then I spoke. My voice was calm, steady, carrying the weight of everything I had seen, everything I had felt. Before I say, I do, I have something the entire congregation needs to know, I said, letting the words hang in the air like a guillotine blade. Sarah's smile faltered. Liam's eyes widened, a flicker of panic crossing his face. The church fell silent. I paused, letting the tension stretch, letting everyone wonder what could possibly be wrong. And then I said the words that would leave everyone frozen. Sarah, Liam, I saw you together last night. Every laugh, every whisper, every touch. And I want everyone here to understand. The person I was supposed to marry, and the person I called my best friend, have both betrayed me in the most unimaginable way. Gasps echoed through the hall. Guests covered their mouths, some sank into their seats, and whispers spread like wildfire. Sarah's face went pale, tears threatening to spill, while Liam's confident grin vanished, replaced by the panic of a guilty man caught red-handed. I could see the weight of shame pressing down on them, see the realization in their eyes that their game was over and that everyone, family, friends, everyone who had trusted them, now knew exactly who they were. I didn't stop there. I walked slowly down the aisle, each step deliberate, and stopped a few feet from the altar. I came here ready to marry someone I loved, but I can't, I continued, my voice carrying every ounce of hurt, betrayal, and controlled fury. And you, Liam, the person I trusted most, you should feel the shame you deserve. Sarah sank to her knees, unable to speak. Liam tried to meet my gaze, but I looked past him, letting the silence do the work. The priest, the guests, the flowers, the music, everything faded into the tense, electric stillness of that moment. And there I stood, not as a victim, not as a heartbroken fool, but as someone who had seen the truth, held it close, and finally decided that the consequences of their betrayal would be witnessed by everyone. Sarah tried to speak, her lips trembling. Wait, I raised a hand, stopping her before a single word could escape. No, Sarah, save it. Everyone here heard me. Everyone here knows the truth. Liam's face went red, and he opened his mouth, probably to deny it, to lie his way out, but I didn't let him. I stepped closer, letting my gaze sweep over the shocked guests. You both thought you could hide behind laughter, behind whispers, behind trust. But the truth always finds its way out. The room was completely silent. I could hear the faint sobs of Sarah's sister, the shallow gasps of my family, the shifting of chairs as people realized the gravity of what had just been revealed. Liam's smugness was gone. In its place was panic, shame, and the sick awareness that he had lost every ounce of respect he ever had. I walked all the way down the aisle, standing before them. I let the silence linger, every second stretching like eternity. Then I said, I came here to marry someone I loved. I trusted someone I called my best friend. And I was betrayed by both. But today, I decide who has power, and who pays the price for their betrayal. Liam's shoulders slumped, Sarah's face crumpled with tears, and the crowd began whispering among themselves, the weight of what they had witnessed settling in like a storm. I didn't need to say anything else. The shock, the shame, the humiliation was written all over their faces. And then I turned, letting my final words echo in the silent church. I will not be fooled. I will not be betrayed. And I will not allow anyone who disrespects me to take even a single piece of my happiness. Today, the truth stands, and you both have been exposed. For a long moment, nobody moved. Sarah sank fully to her knees, Liam stared at the floor, and the guests could barely breathe. I walked away from the altar, chest heavy but steady, leaving behind not just a broken engagement, but a shattered facade, a humiliation so complete that neither of them would ever forget it, and neither would anyone who witnessed it. Just as I turned to leave, a soft gasp ran through the crowd. I glanced back and saw the priest holding a small envelope that had been slipped to him before the ceremony. Nobody had expected it. Inside were photos, pictures of Sarah and Liam together over the past few months. Secret meetings, whispered conversations, stolen smiles. Proof that the betrayal wasn't just last night. It had been carefully hidden, calculated, and yet now laid bare for everyone to see. The envelope slipped into the priest's hands had changed everything. I stayed frozen, my chest tight, every heartbeat loud in the stunned silence of the church. When he opened it, the photos spilled out like daggers. Sarah and Liam, caught in secret meetings over months, sharing stolen smiles, whispers, and touches that now screamed betrayal. Sarah's face drained of color. Liam's confident grin vanished, replaced by panic, guilt, and disbelief. The room went completely silent, as if time itself had paused to witness the unraveling of their carefully hidden lies. Gasps and whispers rippled through the crowd, friends and family staring at them with shock and growing anger, the weight of their treachery laid bare for all to see. I felt a strange calm wash over me. I didn't need to speak. The photos, the evidence, the truth, it was all there. They had thought they were clever, untouchable, but in that moment, every lie they had told, every secret they had kept, was exposed to the world. Sarah sank to her knees, shaking, tears streaming down her face. Liam tried to meet my gaze, but I looked past him, letting the silence do the work. The priest's hands trembled slightly as he held the envelope, unsure how to continue the ceremony. My family's eyes were wide with disbelief, some covering their mouths, others whispering to each other, unable to comprehend the magnitude of the betrayal. I walked slowly down the aisle, each step deliberate, feeling years of trust, love, and loyalty shift into something stronger. Clarity, control, power. Every memory of laughter with Sarah, every secret shared with Liam, every late-night conversation now fueled a fire inside me, sharpening my resolve. I stopped at the front, standing tall, letting everyone take in the scene before me. You thought you could hide, I said, my voice steady, cold, and full of controlled fury. But truth always finds its way. You betrayed me, both of you, and today, everyone has seen it. Everyone knows who you really are. Sarah's tears fell harder. Liam's jaw tightened, the panic in his eyes unmistakable. The guests whispered, stared, some shaking their heads in disbelief, others holding their breath, unable to tear their eyes away. I turned to leave, my heart still heavy, but my mind clear. The altar was no longer a place of promises. It had become a stage for truth, a courtroom where justice had been silently served. I walked down the aisle, leaving behind the shattered illusions, the ruined trust, and the humiliation of two people who had thought themselves untouchable. And as I stepped outside into the sunlight, the warm air on my face felt like freedom. I hadn't just survived betrayal. I had exposed it, controlled it, and turned it into a moment that would never be forgotten. For them, for me, and for everyone who had witnessed it. Observe and listen. Often, small signs of deception appear long before the betrayal. Pay attention to inconsistencies and hidden behaviors. Intuition is a powerful guide. Control your response. Witnessing betrayal can ignite anger and pain, but how you respond defines your strength. Composure and strategy can turn heartbreak into empowerment. Your worth isn't defined by others. People may try to disrespect, deceive, or humiliate you, but your value remains intact. Protect your dignity and set boundaries. Truth prevails. Lies and deceit may hide temporarily, but the truth eventually surfaces. Patience and clarity allow justice and resolution to unfold naturally. Reacting impulsively may satisfy immediate emotions, but choosing the right moment to reveal truth or confront betrayal can have a far greater impact. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe for more powerful stories.